Hello students, if you remember in last period we have completed the chapter semiconductor devices and its applications, that is application of semiconductor, that is said to be semiconductor devices. Last period we have seen the logic circuits, what exactly logic gates are, what are the different type of logic gates, what is the truth table, and all details we have seen, and we have completed that particular chapter. Now today we are going to start the new chapter of your syllabus, and it is nothing but what? The fifth chapter, and that is the oscillation. So this is oscillation we are going to start. If you remember, we have learned in 11th standard wave motion. At that time we have learned that how the wave get propagate. That is how the wave get propagate from one place to other place and travel with a transfer of energy, that we have seen in last year. Now in this case, oscillation, most part of the oscillation, little bit basic definition, just like amplitude, time period, frequency, phase. This thing already we have learned in 11th standard. So we have to see in detail what exactly oscillations are. So before going into detail of this oscillation, first of all, we'll see some of the example of oscillations. Might be all of you are well known about different phenomenon in physics or different phenomenon in our daily life where there is a oscillations. Let's see, might be all of you have seen the swing machine. If we see the needle of swing machine, it goes down and up. As we are just paddling the swing machine, the needle goes down and up. This type of motion of needle of swing machine is nothing but a oscillation. Apart from this, if you have just thrown one piece of the wooden block on some water surface and just drop one stone near to it, that block start floating here because it is made up of wood, and when we drop one stone near to it, it start going up and down. That is again one of the type of oscillations. Apart from this, we have learned in 11th standard also periodic motion. Periodic motion means what? The motion which repeat itself in equal interval of time again and again. That motion is said to be periodic motion. Similarly, these oscillations are nothing but a periodic motions. Let's start with one of the example for this periodic motion. Suppose when we consider our clock, this is our clock. Suppose second hand is here somewhere, and that is suppose on the 12. Then what will occur after that? It can continue travel up to this. It is 3, suppose it is 6, suppose it is 9, suppose, and remaining numbers are there in between this. So this second hand start at the 12. Suppose it will start at the 12. It goes to this point and again come back to the same position after how much time? After 60 seconds. So after every 60 seconds, this pointer come on the same place 12. So that is said to be motion which repeated again and again after equal interval of time, and here equal interval of time is what? 60 seconds. If we consider this is a minute hand, then definitely it also performs the same motion. When it starts from 12, again it will come back to 12 after equal interval of time. What would be the time it will take? Minute hand. It will take a 60 minutes. Yes, it will take a 60 minutes to complete one rotation, and that is said to be periodic motion. Again next part, again it will start here, again come here, again 60 minutes. And that is the motion repeated again and again. That type of motions are said to be periodic motions. Okay, I hope that you got idea about periodic. Let us start with the example of this again. If all of you are well known about the earth rotate around the sun in a circular orbit with equal interval of time. Every 366 days, after every 366 days, it will complete one rotation around the sun. Again it will start the same path. Again after equal time it will complete the rotation. So that is nothing but a periodic motion. But in this case, the earth is moving along the circumference of a circle. So it is nothing but a circumference of a circle. Apart from this, one of the best example, next one is what? Electrons revolve around the nucleus in circular orbit. Instead of this hand, let us suppose it is electron. Electrons are revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit, and again they will complete the same rotation in same interval of time. So and again after that they will follow the same path. Again the same time is required to complete the rotation. So that is again one of the example of that periodic motion. Apart from this, there is a special type of periodic motion, and that is said to be, in that case, object will perform to and fro type of motion. To and fro type of motion. Just move up or just move up and come down. Just like we have seen the needle of swing machine. It goes up and again come down. So this type of motion, to and fro, up and down, to up and down, or we can say this to and this fro, or up and down type of motion is said to be oscillatory motion, or it is said to be vibratory motion. So this oscillatory motion or vibratory motion that we have to learn. For that we can take one of the best example again it is nothing but what? Simple pendulum. If you remember, simple pendulum is nothing but what? It is a one rigid support. To this rigid support the string is tied. To this string the pendulum, or you can say here it is bob or spherical mass is connected at the bottom. And see, when we hold it, bob, and move it to certain height here somewhere, we have moved to certain height here somewhere and leave it from this place. When we leave it, what will occur? It come here and it will never stop here. It go further to some place somewhere. Here it goes, and again after here it never gets stopped. Again come back here. So again come back to its original position. Initially goes to this side, again go to extreme position, again come back to its original position. This is one type of to and fro. It goes to and again come to the same fro, to and fro type of motion. In this case, this is simple pendulum. It will perform to and fro type of motion, and to and fro type of periodic motion is nothing but a oscillatory motion or vibratory motion. Now what exactly oscillation means? When we leave this bob from this place, this is said to be sphere, means it is said to be bob. Okay, this bob is leave from this place, it goes to this side, again come back to same place, means it has completed one rotation. It leave from this, goes here, again come back to same place. So we can say it has completed one oscillation, and that one set of movement is said to be oscillation. After completing one oscillation, it never stop. Again it will start performing same. That means if you remember, we have seen second hand start from 12. Again it will rotate and again come at the 12. Same thing. When we leave the bob here, suppose it is 12. It goes somewhere here at a 6 in the clock. Again come back to 12. One rotation get completed in case of clock. Here it is one oscillation get created, because it is to and fro type of motion, and this to and fro type of motion is said to be oscillatory or vibratory motion. And one set of movement which repeat again and again is said to, it start here, goes here, again come here, one set get complete, and that is said to be oscillation. Remember, here also the time taken by this bob to move from this position to this, again come back to this position, always remains constant. So this is said to be to and fro type of oscillatory or vibratory motion, which is nothing but a periodic one, periodic oscillatory motion. So we have seen oscillation, periodic motion, and periodic motions may be the vibratory motion or oscillatory motion, or it is circular motion that we have learned. And same topic we have to learn in the chapter of circular motion. The particle performs circular motion around the circumference of a circle in equal interval of time. That is said to be uniform circular motion. That is said to be UCM, uniform circular motion. So that is again one of the periodic motion, because particle is moving with a constant magnitude of velocity with respect to time. So it is said to be uniform circular motion. So that is one of the example of periodic motion. But here in this chapter we are interested to concentrate on oscillatory type of motion, to and fro type of motion. Again here they are also the periodic. Remember, all periodic motions are not oscillatory, but all oscillatory motions should not be periodic. So same thing is there. That means, for example, to and fro type of motion of simple pendulum, we can say it is oscillatory motion. Okay, oscillatory motion, and it is periodic also. But when second hand start from 12, again come back to the 12, that is periodic but not oscillatory, because there is no to and fro type of motion. That they want to explain you in this topic. Apart from this, there are some topic: amplitude, time period, time taken by the bob to go from this place to this, again come back to this. It is said to be time taken by this bob to complete one rotation. That is said to be periodic time or time period. Apart from this, we can find out a frequency. Reciprocal of that time period is said to be frequency. That's it. Number of oscillation performed by the bob per unit time, that is said to be frequency, that we can find out. Now what are the positions here that we have to remember? Now here at the center, initial position, this position is said to be mean position. Mean position. After some time, bob definitely remains stable at this position, original position, equilibrium position, that is said to be mean position. This is said to be extreme right position, and this is said to be extreme left position. Are you getting? Extreme right, it goes to maximum this side, again come back extreme right, and again come to mean, again go to extreme left position. Now remember, displacement of this bob from its original position to the extreme right position, center to center, suppose we have find out this distance, and that is said, suppose we have find out center to center, you can take from this edge to this edge, or you can take this edge to this edge, the distance remains same, and that is said to be amplitude, and that amplitude was represented by A. What exactly amplitude is? Amplitude is maximum displacement of a bob from its mean position to right side, it is plus A amplitude. To the left side, it is minus A. So in short, amplitude is maximum displacement of particle from its mean position. That is said to be amplitude. Now let's start with here the first topic, linear simple harmonic motion. Now what exactly linear simple harmonic motion? This to and fro type of motion of bob of simple pendulum, it is straight line motion. It goes here, again come back here. That is straight line motion which repeated in equal interval of time again and again, and that motion is said to be linear because it is straight line. Linear simple harmonic. Harmonic means what? It move to and fro type of motion. Simple harmonic motion. It is straight line, so it is said to be linear simple harmonic. If it is just like a clock moving like this, it is said to be angular because it is the particle is moving in certain arc along the circumference. Angular simple harmonic motion. So these are the two type of motions. Oscillatory motion may be linear simple harmonic or angular simple harmonic. Let's start with the linear simple harmonic motion. For that, let us consider, in your book they have given the figure 5.1 ABC. So in this case, what they have done, just they have drawn the horizontal figures, we can draw it vertical, and we have one practical also for that, so it is better to consider vertical. Whatever be the figure in your book, just I have rotated by 90 degrees. In that case, it become like this. Suppose this is a rigid support. Suppose this is a rigid support. To this support, I have applied one spring like this. I have drawn this spring to this rigid support, and at this place there is one hook. To this hook, we can apply some load or weight can be applied at the other end of the hook. One end is fixed to rigid support, other end is free. Now at this place, spring is not stretch or not compress. It is not stretch, not compress. Means which position is this? This is said to be mean position. Just like a simple pendulum we have seen, it is said to be mean position. Now suppose we have applied some here, we have applied some load. Load means some mass or weight is applied to the hook. Suppose I have applied this rectangular block of some weight W equal to mg, and as due to gravity it will move in downward direction. So what will occur with the spring? Spring gets stretched. It goes in downward direction. That is said to be stretching of the spring. So we can draw that second diagram here. So initially spring is like this. Now the spring gets stretched. It gets straight like this, and the weight is applied, so it goes little bit downward direction. W equal to mg, downward direction. Now let's see, the mean position is here. Now that position here, we have seen the hanger. Suppose this hanger, it comes here now. Now what is this distance from this mean position to this? This is said to be what? Stretching of the spring. Stretching of the spring. Spring gets stretched by some force. At the same time, as we try to move the spring in downward direction, it will always exert a force in opposite direction. If you remember, in 11th standard we have seen the chapter elasticity. Restoring forces we have seen, internal restoring forces. As we stretch the spring, some internal forces are automatically created in the spring, and that forces are always try to move to its mean position, and that forces are restoring forces. Restoring forces we can represent as F suffix R. Internal restoring forces are created when we elongate the spring, okay, and their direction is always toward the mean position. At the same time, as we elongate it much more weight is applied, it goes much more downward direction. So what does it mean? Here this is nothing but what? Displacement. Displacement and the force, this displacement get increased in downward direction, force get increased in upward direction. So we can say displacement x and force are moving in opposite direction. Is that clear? Apart from this, instead of just stretching it, I have just going to compress it. What will occur, that we have to see. So this mean position, this is extreme position, we can say extreme position, mean position. Now third thing we are going, mean position I will write as only here the word MP, and this is a mean, extreme, this is the elongation or stretch in the spring, elongation in the spring. Now suppose I am going to compress it, third diagram. So we are going to compress it. What will occur? Spring get compressed here like this, and suppose it doesn't have weight, we are just applying upward force. This load is nothing but a downward force. This is nothing but upward force we are applying. We applied the compress, that means load is acted in this direction. W equal to mg in upward direction. Now it will compress. Again, this is the mean position. This is said to be extreme position. At this position also, this spring try to come to its original position, to mean position. Means what? Again some internal forces are created. Here when we stretch, the forces get created, they are moving toward the mean position. At the same time, here also, when we compress it, same internal forces are created, same or amount of internal forces are created in this, that are said to be restoring force, and that restoring forces are trying to move to the mean position again. Again restoring forces are trying to move to the mean position. When we remove this force, remove this weight or applied force, the spring come to its, automatically it will come to original position. Why? Because of some internal restoring forces. Now initially it is here, now it goes here. So what is this? This is nothing but a displacement x. Displacement of the spring in compressed condition. Displacement of the spring in stretch condition. Now remember, in this case, displacement increase in upward direction. Displacement increases, force also increase, but direction of force is toward the mean position. So direction of displacement and the force is exactly opposite, and that is nothing but the condition for linear simple harmonic motion, we can say. Now let's see, if I have rotate this diagram like this, just take support here and the springs here like this, then that is the diagram from your book. That's it. The same diagram is there in your book. Now remember, this type of motion is said to be linear simple harmonic motion. Why it is said to be linear? See, from mean position, whatever the elongation, it is straight line. Whatever the compression, it is also the straight line. That's why it is said to be linear simple harmonic motion. And remember, suppose we have hang this spring, I have just applied some force, not load we have applied, just I have hold this, move it downward and leave it. It start performing up and down motion. And that are nothing but oscillations. Again remember, suppose I have applied some force by 2 fingers or my hand to this side and leave it in downward direction, leave it. It start performing up and down type of motion, and that is said to be oscillatory or vibratory motion. Either we can move downward or we can move it upward. Just hold the weight, move it upward, leave your hand. Again it will perform up and down type of motion, that is said to be to and fro type of motion, but it is in straight line. That's why it is said to be linear simple harmonic motion, and such type of linear simple harmonic motion was represented by the term sine and cosine. Cosine and sine functions it will be represented, and that cosine and sine functions are said to be harmonic function, because in this case the motion is straight line up and down, and that was represented by either sine, trigonometric sine term or cosine term, and because they are said to be harmonic functions. Now here, whatever the restoring force here, try to move toward the original position, try to move toward the mean position in both the case. That force can be represented by one equation, that is F is equal to minus kx. We can take this as small f, we can take this as small f. I have mentioned here Fr to understand restoring force. In your book they have taken only F. F is equal to minus kx is the equation. Now here this minus sign indicate that direction of force and displacements are opposite. If force goes upward, displacement goes downward. Let's see, force goes upward, displacement goes downward. Exactly opposite here. So their direction are opposite. That was represented by this minus term. Now you get F and X. F is the force, X is displacement. What about this K? What is this K? K is said to be force constant. K is said to be force constant. And what exactly force constant? Every spring has its own value of force constant. It is different according to the size and dimension of the spring, and that constant is said to be force constant. It depends on the size and dimension of the spring, and that is nothing but this K. Is it clear? So K is said to be force constant. Now if you remember, we know very well, there is, according to Newton's second law, we have the one equation of force. Force equal to F equal to ma. Newton's second law, mass into acceleration. Now in this case, F is equal to ma, that equation we know. Now suppose I want to write the same thing, F equal to ma here, that equation we know. Now suppose I am going to write here, I am just going to find out F is equal to ma, but here F equal to what? Minus kx. Are you getting? Force equal to minus kx, or force equal to mass into acceleration. We can find the value of A from this. A equal to, this equation implies A equal to force divided by mass. Force divided by mass. Now put the value of this force here. We can write this minus kx divided by m, or k by m into x. That can be written as, and again here the minus sign, we can write the same as minus k by m into x. Again this minus sign shows that acceleration. Now see here, force and x are moving opposite direction. That is the meaning of minus sign. Similarly, acceleration and x, they have the minus sign. So we can say acceleration and x means displacement. Both are also moving in opposite direction. So this would be direction of displacement. So direction of force or acceleration is remains same. Again, this is direction of displacement, direction of force, or we can say acceleration is remains same. So force as well as accelerations are moving exactly in opposite direction of x. That is the meaning of this equation. Is that clear? So I hope that you get this idea about this, and such type of up and down type of motion of this bob, or we can say this weight up and down, to and fro type of motion is said to be simple harmonic motion. It is similar to that of simple pendulum, and same thing they have explained in your book. Little bit much more explanation they have given in your book. So let's start with the basic definition of simple harmonic motion according to your book. What they told, let's see in your book, they have mentioned linear simple harmonic motion is defined as the linear periodic in which force or acceleration is always directed toward the mean position. Force or acceleration always directed toward the mean position. Such type of motion of the body, which is periodic motion, and in which the displacement, magnitude of displacement or force, magnitude of force or acceleration is directly proportional to displacement. Let's see in this equation, if we see this k is constant, we can write F is directly proportional to minus x. Minus shows opposite direction. Same thing here, k by m is constant, you can write A is directly proportional to minus x. So that is nothing but this, such type of motion performed by the body, which is periodic. Periodic means what? When we move this weight upward and leave it, it performs to and fro type of motion. When it will start from up, goes down, again come up, whatever will time it will require, same time it will require for next vibration. So that motion repeated itself in equal interval of time, and that is said to be periodic motion. So linear simple harmonic motion is a periodic motion in which force or acceleration, its magnitude is directly proportional to displacement. Is that clear? And acceleration and force are directed toward the mean position. That type of motion is said to be linear simple harmonic motion. Apart from this, in your book there is one point in blue, or we can say purple color, the box is there, and they have the heading remember this. What they have mentioned, remember this, they have given the three parameter that you must remember in linear simple harmonic motion. The first or can say they are said to be condition required. Condition required for linear simple harmonic motion. The first condition says that oscillation of particle is about fixed point. Oscillation is about fixed point. What is the fixed point? Mean position. It goes up from the mean position, again come mean position, goes down from the mean position. So oscillation is about this fixed point, that is the mean position, goes up and down about mean position. So that is the first point. Second point, the net force or acceleration is always directed toward the fixed point. That is common sense. The force or acceleration must directed toward the, when it is up, it must be toward the mean position. When it is down, again it will must toward the mean position. That mean position they have used the word fixed point. And the third one, the particle come back to the fixed point due to restoring force. That we know. That is the why the force is applied or created. That is nothing, restoring internal force. Apart from this, in blue orange color, there are two examples they try to explain you. In these two example, nothing is to explain that much, but still we'll see as they have given in your book. In this case, first case, they have taken a hydrometer. Now, I hope all of you are well known about hydrometer. Do you know the hydrometer? Most of the student has seen that instrument, but they don't know that instrument is said to be hydrometer. Now see, at our villages, if you went to your village or some relatives home at the villages, that people have some animals. They will give us a milk, just like buffaloes or cows and so on. They will take a milk from that animals and they move to one place that is said to be dairy. On that dairy, they have to give that milk. Before taking the milk by that dairy person, he has some white transparent color, something instrument is there, and that instrument is such type of instrument. It has such type of instrument. They have such type of instrument. Just see in your book also they have drawn, and here at the bottom it has some bulb part. So such type of instrument, and some scale is marked on this. That is said to be hydrometer. Hydrometer. What is the use of this hydrometer? Hydrometer find out the density of the liquid. So see, for pure milk, the density is different. Lot of people has the bad habit that they will pour some water in the milk and they will give it to dairy. Okay, then they will give it to dairy because volume get increased, and accordingly they got more benefits. But remember, when you submit that milk to dairy, they will measure the density of that milk. If density is less, means what? Water is more. That's it. They can find out, and accordingly price get negotiated. And that was measured. Density of original milk. They will compare the density of your milk with the original milk standard value they have, and accordingly they will find out how much water you have dropped in the pure milk. And that was found out by this instrument that is said to be hydrometer. When you put this hydrometer at, suppose we have just such type of jar that people have, such type of jar, they will put here some milk here inside. Not this much actually, it is little bit here. They will pour some milk here, and in this milk they will just put this hydrometer. This hydrometer stands exactly it will stand at equilibrium position like this, and it will show some reading, how much it get deep inside. Accordingly we get reading here, how much it get deep inside the that particular milk, and accordingly density can be find out. But remember what we have done, suppose I have hold it, I have press it inside the liquid and leave it. What will occur? It goes down, comes up, and such type of oscillation it will perform, and that is nothing but a oscillatory motion they try to explain by using this hydrometer. Apart from the hydrometer, they have taken another thing, that is U-shaped tube they have taken, and some liquid get poured in it. Suppose such we have taken U-shaped tube made up of glass. Such type of tube you have taken, it is made up of glass. We have poured some liquid. When you pour some liquid from this side, its level becomes same. The level of left arm and the right arm come to the same position. So they are at the same position. Now what we have done, suppose we have blow some air from one side. Just blow some air from this side inside. What will occur? This particular level get decreased. This level get decreased to this because air exert a pressure on it. At the same time, this level by the same amount it get increased. It come to the new level. Now in this case we stop the air. Stop the air. What will occur? As the level of this and this side arm is different, the liquid, if this liquid has more weight, it comes in downward direction, they will pull this liquid in upward direction. Again, for some time, again its weight is more, and this phenomenon goes on repeating itself. So these levels are moving up and down this side as well as this side also, and that the change in the level of that liquid, that is said to be oscillatory motion. It will perform up and down type of motion. So that are two examples they have taken. Now let's go to the equation. It is a mathematical part. That is the equation, linear differential equation or differential equation for linear simple harmonic motion. So let's start what exactly it is. Differential equation for linear simple harmonic motion. We have to write one equation. We have to derive one equation for simple harmonic motion, which is linear simple harmonic motion. For that, just as we have seen, the restoring force which come toward the mean position was represented by one formula, F is equal to minus kx. Suppose it is equation 1. At the same time, according to Newton's law, we know F equal to what? ma. This is equation 2, and this is according to Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion. Now just see, if we compare both the equations 1 and 2, left hand side is same. If the left hand side of any equation is same, right hand side must be the same. And for that, we should write right hand side must be the same. So we can create here, just equate the right hand side. So we can write here ma equal to minus kx. ma equal to minus kx. Okay, is that clear? Or further we can write this as divide both sides by small mass m. We get a equal to minus k by m into x. Move this term to this side. As it is minus, when it comes to this, it becomes plus. We can write a plus k by m into x equal to 0. This equation we get. This equation is said to be differential equation, linear differential equation. But to get exact differential equation, first of all we have to consider another point. What exactly that point, that we'll see. So might be all of you remember, if x is a displacement, velocity is what? Rate of change of displacement with respect to time, dx by dt. What is meant by acceleration? Acceleration is rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So dx by dt is velocity, dv by dt is acceleration. So what is v? Put the value of v here. You can write this as d dt of, in the bracket, value of v as dx by dt. Okay, is that clear? Now see, d dt, here also d dt, both are same. So just make it square. So you can write here d2x divided by dt square. And that is nothing but a d2x divided by dt square, that is nothing but a means what? Acceleration. Put this value here, rewrite the equation, then what we get? We get the equation d2x divided by dt square plus k by m into x equal to 0. This is a basically linear differential equation of x, displacement. See, here it is x, here it is x. That is said to be linear differential equation for linear simple harmonic motion. Again, in this equation, one modification they have done. What is the modification? This k by m they have put as a omega square. They have put as a omega square. If you put it here, you can write this as d2x divided by dt square plus omega square x equal to 0. So this is a one form. Suppose equation it is 3, equation 4 and equation 5. These all three equations are same. 3, 4, 5 are same. It is in terms of acceleration a and k by m. In terms of d2x by dt square and k by m, it is in terms of d2x by dt square and omega square. Omega square they have put for k by m, it is said to be angular frequency. Now the question comes, why here angular frequency comes? Okay, because it is linear motion. So see, it is not a velocity, it is a frequency. How many oscillation particle will perform in a certain time, that was measured, and that's why it is said to be angular frequency. So this is nothing but a linear differential equation of simple harmonic motion. I hope that all of you get this. So see in your book there is equation 5.4 and 5.5 that are nothing but a 4 and 5. These are the two equations. They are said to be differential equation of simple harmonic motion. Apart from that, there's a blue color first numerical is there. Try to solve this numerical, because once you try to solve this solved numerical, then you can go to unsolved one. So you have to solve, already they have solved it, you have to understand. Okay, so I hope that you can got this topic. It is very simple thing that we have to find out force constant K, F and X are given. Just put the value of F and X, solve it. So that type of thing is here. It's very simple. Let's go to next topic: acceleration, velocity and displacement of SHM. Let's go to the next topic: acceleration, that we have find out now. Acceleration, velocity and displacement in SHM. So what exactly this acceleration, velocity and displacement is, that we have to see. So first of all, start with the first acceleration, then we'll go toward the velocity, then we go toward the displacement. So first of all, start with the acceleration now. Let's start with the acceleration. So first of all, let us start with the acceleration. So as we know, linear simple harmonic motion was represented by its differential equation. So let us write down the first. It is for acceleration we are going to find out. So acceleration. First of all, we are going to find out acceleration. Then we are going to find out the velocity, and velocity V actually, acceleration A actually, and at the last we are going to find out a displacement. That will see later on. First of all, this, write down the linear differential equation that we have derived now. So what is that? d2x divided by dt square plus omega square x equal to 0. Okay. Now we can just find out value of d2x by dt square. So do it. This equation implies d2x divided by dt square equal to minus omega square x. What is this d2x by dt square that we have seen? It is nothing but a d2x by dt square is nothing but what? Acceleration. So you can write a equal to minus omega square x. This is the equation for acceleration. Now let's go to the velocity. To find the equation for a velocity, again what we have to do? Use this equation now. From acceleration find out the velocity. From velocity we have to find out the displacement. So I can write this for velocity, as we know, a equal to minus omega square x. What is acceleration means? Rate of change of displacement. Sorry, rate of change of velocity with time is acceleration. So we can write this as dv by dx, rate of change of velocity with time. Rate of change of velocity with time. That will give what? The acceleration is equal to, acceleration that is equal to minus omega square x. Is that clear? Now might be have used one chain formula in your mathematics. What exactly that chain formula is? We can write this dv by dt as dv by dx into dx by dt. If you see, this dx cancel with this dx. Dx cancel with this dx. What is remaining? dv by dt. That is adjustment. Multiply and divide by dx. That is said to be chain formula in mathematics. So that we have applied to this equation. So if we cancel these two terms, we get dv by dt. Okay, equal to right hand side as it is minus omega square x. Now the question comes here. What is rate of change of displacement with time? Rate of change of displacement with time is what? Velocity. So you can write, take this velocity first. We can write v into dv by dx equal to minus omega square x. Now separate the terms. Separate term means what? This v is a function of dv, but this dx for this x. So move this dx to that side. Rewrite the equation. So we can write here v into dv equal to minus omega square x into dx. This equation we get. Okay, minus omega square x into dx. That equation we get. So we get that equation up to this point. Now integrate it here. integrate both side. Okay, what we get? Integration of v dv equal to minus omega square is constant, take it outside, into integrations of x dx. So might be all of you are well known about this integration in mathematics. All of you have learned this. Those students who don't have mathematics, don't worry, it's very simple. So see, integration of v dv is what? V square divided by 2 equal to minus omega square as it is. Integration of x is what? X square divided by 2 plus some constant of integration c. Plus some constant of integration c. Those students who don't have mathematics, don't worry. These are some formulas in mathematics. Those your friend who have mathematics, you can just ask them. They will explain you these formulas. Okay, formulas for derivatives. Okay, if you don't get it, then you can ask me later. So this v's integration is v square by 2, x integration x square by 2 plus c. So this is the final equation. Under this equation, we have to find out the value of this constant c first. To find the value of constant c, put some initial conditions. What are the initial conditions? When v equal to 0, x equal to plus a or minus a. Velocity is 0 at x equal to plus minus a. Now how it is possible? Just take one example for this. If we see simple pendulum, we have seen. Okay, simple pendulum. Let's see. So this is simple pendulum. Here it is. Okay. So when this simple pendulum or bob comes here, it is minus a, this distance. When it goes here somewhere, it is what? Plus a. And that a plus a or minus a is said to be amplitude, maximum displacement. So when bob goes here or here, it has some velocity. It will stop somewhere here and then reverse here back. Again here goes here with some velocity in this direction. Velocity is 0 at this extreme position. Again reverse the motion. So at this point and this point, velocity is 0. At extreme point, the velocity is 0. Okay. When velocity is 0, x equal to what? Plus minus a. Because velocity is 0 at this point. That condition we have to use here and rewrite the equation. So just use this condition here. As v equal to 0, we can write 0 equal to minus omega square, x equal to plus minus a. Its square is always positive. So we can write it as omega square a square by 2 plus c. Okay, this minus sign equal to. So this equation implies that c equal to omega square a square by 2. Put this value of c from this equation to this equation and rewrite this equation. What we get, that we'll see. Okay, so I will write that topic to this side. I will write that topic to this another side. So we have put that value of c in that equation. What equation we get? We get here v square divided by 2 equal to v square divided by 2 equal to minus omega square x square divided by 2 plus value of c as my plus omega square a square by 2. 1 by 2 from left side and right side, they cancelled out. So these 2 cancel with these 2. So what we get? V square equal to minus omega square x square plus a square. Same thing can be written as a square minus, sorry, here it should be omega, na? Omega square a square. Same thing can be written as omega square, we can take common. In the bracket, we can write a square minus x square. This term taken first, this is later. That's it. It will never change the sign. So we get omega square a square minus x square is v square. What is the value of v then? This equation implies v equal to plus minus omega square root of a square minus x square. So this equation gives us a value of velocity. Initially we have used the linear differential equation. From that we have find out what? We have find out the acceleration. By using the equation of acceleration, Then we have find out the value of velocity. Did you got it? If you have some problem, we can revise it. We can revise for a sec. How can we revise? Just look at here. So we have to find out acceleration. We have put the, just use the equation for linear differential equation we have used here. Here that equation, d2x by dt square plus omega square x equal to 0. Find out the value of d2x by dt square equal to minus omega square x. Now in this case, this d2x by dt square is a. So a equal to minus omega square x, and that is nothing but a acceleration we want to find, and that we have find out the acceleration. And use this, find out the velocity. So let's go to the velocity. So this is equation for velocity we are going to find out. This a equal to minus omega square x we are going to use. So what we have done, acceleration is related to velocity by simple formula a equal to dv by dt. Just I have put it dv by dt is equal to minus omega square x. Then I have just used a chain formula, multiply and divide by dx. So dv by dx into dx by dt. Dx cancel out, we get dv by dt. So that is said to be chain formula, equal to minus omega square x as it is. Let's go further. Dx by dt means what? Rate of change of displacement with time, that is said to be velocity. So write down this v first, x. After that, this dv is term from v, dx is term from x. Separate them, move this dx to that side. So we can write v dv equal to minus omega square x dx. After integrate both sides, left and right side. So what we get? Integration of v dv equal to minus omega square is a constant, integration of x dx. So those who have mathematics, they are well known about this. Those who don't have mathematics, don't worry. You can ask your mathematics friend. Still, if you have the problem, you can contact me. So where the integration of v is what? V square by 2 equal to minus omega square. Integration of x is what? X square by 2 plus c. C is a constant of integration. Now we want to find the value of constant of integration. For that, we have to use a condition. Velocity is 0 at extreme position where x is plus a to right side, minus a to left side. So put this condition, v is 0 at x equal to plus minus a. In this equation, we get 0 equal to minus omega square a square. X equal to a we have put, plus minus a. Whatever be the plus or minus a, square is positive. So minus omega square a square by 2 plus c. Found the value of c, we get c equal to, this goes to this side, so it becomes plus omega square a square by 2. Put this value of c from this equation to here, this equation c. Then we can write this equation as v square by 2 equal to minus omega square x square by 2 plus omega square a square by 2. 2 from both sides get cancelled out. Then what is remaining? V square equal to minus omega square x square plus omega square a square. Omega square is common. In the bracket, it is a square. This term is taken as first because it is positive. A square minus x square. This is a velocity square. We are interested in velocity. So find out v equal to plus minus omega square root of a square minus x square. Now if you remember what we have done, we have revised whole topic once again. How we have find out the acceleration that we have seen, repeated again, revision we have done, and how the velocity has calculated that we have seen. Now the third our aim is what? To find out the displacement, and for this displacement we are going to use the formula for velocity. So let's start with the displacement now. So I will just erase this remaining part. That's why we have revised it first. So just erase this part and start with the displacement. Displacement of particle performing SHL, that we want to find out. So let us go toward this. So remember the two equations, we have to derive the three equations: displacement, velocity and acceleration. Acceleration we have derived, velocity we have to derive, already derived. Let's go toward the displacement. Displacement of particle performing linear SHL, that we want to find out. That is meant by x we want to find out. For this, use this equation as we have derived. So we can write here v equal to plus minus omega square root of a square minus x square. A square minus x square. This equation we have to derive, just solve it. Now this is a velocity v. Just like a previous, in case of velocity we have put a acceleration equation, and acceleration means what? dv by dt. Similarly here, velocity is what? Rate of change of displacement with time. So we can write this as velocity as dx by dt equal to plus minus omega square root of a square minus x square. Okay, for the sake we will consider for only magnitude now. So just remove this omega a square minus x square. Now just separate the variable. This square root term is a function of x, move it here. Omega is function of t, move it here. So we can write dx divided by square root of a square minus x square equal to omega into dt. Omega into dt. That is equation we get, omega into dt. So here now the variables are separated. Now integrate both sides. So when we integrate, it becomes integration of this, omega is constant, integration of dt. Now again use the mathematical formula, integrate this. 1 divided by square root of a square minus x square dx is integration is sine inverse x divided by a. Write down then, it is sine inverse x divided by a. Now remember, those students who don't have mathematics, don't bother. It is simple mathematical formula. Whenever we integrate this equation, there is one formula in mathematics. Its integration is this much. That formula we have used. That's it. It is better to remember it directly. Then it is those who don't have mathematics. Those who have mathematics, they will definitely understand this. Let's go further. Equal to omega integration of dt is t. Okay. Plus some constant of integration. Initially we have taken that c. Here we have to take it as phi. Phi is said to be constant of integration. So this equation we get sine inverse x by a equal to omega t plus phi. Okay. Now here, if you remember, suppose we have some term, suppose x to the power minus 2. X to the power minus 2. We can write it like this, 1 divided by x square. Okay. We have seen this in 11th standard. X to the power minus 2 means goes in denominator, power remains same. That thing we know. Similarly, here they have taken sine inverse of x by a. Okay. Sine inverse of x by a. Now in this case, we can multiply here both sides of this equation by sine function. Multiply both sides of this equation by sine function. So what we get here, just I will show you here first, then I will write. So here we can get here sine inverse means what? 1 divided by sine this x divided by a as it is. Sine inverse we can write like this, equal to omega t plus phi. Multiply both sides by sine. So what we get? This sine divided by sine equal to sine omega t plus phi. This sine by sine get cancelled out. Okay. So what we get? X equal to, move this a to that side. X equal to a sine of omega t plus phi. And this is the equation for displacement. X is a displacement, a is the amplitude, maximum displacement from its mean position, is equal to sine is a trigonometric function, omega is angular frequency, t is time, phi is a constant of integration. Now here there are two cases that we have to learn for this displacement. I hope you get this equation. X equal to a sine omega t plus phi is a general equation for displacement of particle performing simple harmonic motion. Now we have to consider two cases. How that two cases differ from each other, that we'll see here on this side. Okay. So I will write the two conditions here. There are two conditions. The first, if the motion start from mean position, there are two conditions. Either motion start from mean position or it will start from extreme position. Now let's see what exactly to start. Actually, we are counting that vibration at, suppose this is a simple pendulum. Okay. Suppose this is a simple pendulum. It is a mean position. Either it go to this side, come to this, again go to this. These are said to be extreme position. This is said to be mean position. If initially bob is here, it start performing oscillation. That is said to be motion start at mean position. Basically, it is not start. We count the time. We started our stopwatch at this point when bob is at this position. So when it come here, leave it. When it comes here, start your clock. Then we can say motion start at mean position. It goes here, again it goes here. But while doing this, when we leave the bob from this place and quickly we have started the clock, then that is said to be motion start from this. That is said to be extreme position. That two things we have to learn here. Motion start from mean position and extreme position. So let's see what exactly. First case, motion starts from mean position. So let's see, motion starts from mean position. At mean position, what is the value of x? At the mean position, what is displacement or amplitude? It is 0. So at mean position, x equal to 0, and at this position we have started counting the time by using stop clock. We have started the clock. So t equal to 0 and x equal to 0 at mean position. Now put these two values in the equation that we have derived. I will write that equation first. X equal to a sine of omega t plus phi. X equal to a sine of omega t plus phi. Now put here t equal to 0, okay, and x equal to 0. Write the equation. So 0 equal to a sine of t is 0, omega into t is 0, sine of phi. Now this is 0, amplitude it will be 0, so we can remove this. We can say sine phi is 0. Sine phi is 0 when phi equal to 0. Sine 0 is 0. So sine phi is 0 when phi is 0 or pi. So this implies that phi equal to 0 or it is pi. Now put this value of phi in this equation and write down the final equation for displacement for a particle starting from mean position. So you can get here x equal to a sine of omega t plus phi is 0. So you can write it is x equal to a sine omega t. This is the final equation when the motion starts from mean position. I hope you got this. It's a very simple thing. Now similarly, second condition that we want to find out, where the motion starts from extreme position, or we started the clock when the bob goes to extreme position. Let's see that second condition. At starts from extreme position. Motion starts from extreme position. As a motion starts from extreme position, bob is either this right hand side or left hand side. It is not at mean position. So what is the value of x? Plus a. Here it is minus a. That's it. That condition we have to put. X equal to plus minus a, and time we have counted when it is at extreme position. So t equal to 0. Put these two conditions in this equation again. Rewrite the equation. What we get? X equal to plus minus a. So it is a equal to a sine omega t is 0, because t is 0, omega into t is 0, sine of phi. Okay, we have put this here. X equal to a sine 0 plus phi means phi. Now just find out from this equation implies that sine of phi equal to 1. That is basically is plus minus a. It will be plus minus 1. So when sine of phi is plus minus 1, what is the value of phi? Sine of 90 is plus 1. Okay. Sine of pi by 2 means 90 is plus 1. Sine of 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. So we can get, this implies that phi equal to pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2. Pi by 2 means 90, it is plus 1, as 3 pi by 2 it is minus 1. Put this value of phi in this equation again and rewrite the equation. So we can write x equal to a sine of omega t plus pi by 2. Now in trigonometry there is one simple formula. Sine of 90 plus theta, this is 90 na, 90 plus theta is cos theta. So we can write this as x equal to a cos of omega t. Theta is here, omega t. So this is the second equation for displacement where particles start from extreme position. This is for mean position, this is for extreme position, and this is the equation in general. X equal to a sine omega t plus phi. Phi is a constant of integration that we can find the value of phi. From mean position it comes to be 0. or pi, extreme position come to be pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2. By using the formula, finally we get displacement x equal to a sin omega t when we consider the motion start from mean position, and x equal to a cos omega t when the motion start from extreme right or extreme left position. Is that clear? In this fashion, we have completed up to this point. The next topic we will cover in the next video. So be safe, be careful about coronavirus, and remember, all of you have to see the video first, then read the same topic from your book. Read the same topic from your book, and still if you don't understand anything, you can call me, okay? Or you can WhatsApp me on my personal number. Thank you.